Hey everyone, welcome to another top 10 list. This week is the conclusion of last week's top 20. Last week we did the top 20 um, affordable notes and how much they have gained. We covered notes 20 through 11. This week we're doing notes 10 through 1. So these are a little more pricey, but they are still moving up and they are still notes you should target, and they are still quite affordable, all things considering. So let's jump right back into it. Number 10 this week, we are going with the R note. 1935 A experimental note. It's got the giant R here. One of the experimental notes, there was the R and the S notes. You guys can watch my other videos on those to see the entire story. The R note, in the old book, now as far as prices go, I'm breaking down the price of a grade 8 and a grade 20, and I'm comparing how those moved from the 22nd edition of Paper Money of the United States to the 23rd edition of Paper Money of the United States. 23rd edition. So that's the book. That's the prices I'm using. Anyway, 1935 A R note. This particular note in the old book was $100 on a grade 8, and it was $175 on a grade 20. The new book came out, it's $115 now in the grade 8, still $175 on the 20. So the grade 8 version went up from $100 to $115. That's a 15% increase. That just means that these notes are going to be, you're not going to find even the rough ones in as cheap a price anymore. So yeah, if you haven't gotten one, get on it. That's number 10. Number 9. Number 9 is the $10 gold certificate. This is from the 1928 series, $10 gold certificate. Really cool note, not gold on the back. That's only in the large size notes. Anyway, the $10 gold certificate, where did I put that? Here it is. In the old book, this was $100 as a grade 8, and it was $175 as a grade 20. New book came out, the low price moved up to $125, and the high price stayed the same at that $175. So once again, on the low side, we went from $100 to $125, and on the higher side, we stayed at that $175 point. So if you're looking for one that's in a lesser condition, it's going to cost you more. The average condition, that one stayed the same, so you can still get those. That's number 9 this week. Number 8. The 1899 $1 silver certificate known as the Black Eagle. Black Eagle, very cool note. This is a note that's in just about every collector's collection. You can find these in varying grades, of course. The old book had this in a grade 8 at $110, and in a grade 20 it was $170. And even though this is a very popular note, and even though this note is widely available, the price still moved up. The new book has it at $120 for a grade 8 and $185 for a grade 20. So once again, at a grade 8, it went from $110 to $120, and in a grade 20, it went from $170 to $185. So we see both of the numbers moving up in the right direction, which means it's definitely a good note to hold on to. That one is number 8. Number 7. This, where is it here, is a 1928 $1 silver certificate. And I kind of cheated on this one a little bit because they don't list all the individual prices for these small notes. So this one happens to be a really high graded note. I still got the prices in the lowest one that it listed. Where did it go here? 1928 $1 silver certificate. In lower grade, you're talking about $25 on this particular one. But if you go for a nice one, which I would recommend doing, the nice ones were $165 in the book. Now they start out at $125. Is that right? No, that's not it. That's not it. Now they start off at $30 instead of $25, and in one this nice, you're talking $200. So once again, when you start talking about the really good notes, really good condition notes, well, look at how much this one moved. So I wanted to include that in here, so I included it in the $200 bracket just because it is a funny back, which does make it desirable, and you want to get it in a higher grade. That one is number 7. Number 6. Here is the $1 red seal, 1928 $1 red seal. This was the note that was circulated in Puerto Rico. These did not circulate in the U.S., even though it looks exactly like our money did there. They just used the red seal. The $1 red seal note, these are actually fairly tough to come by in decent shape because I'm assuming because of the humidity that not a lot of the notes survived. You see a lot of yellowing on the notes. You see a lot of them in just trash condition. So if you can find one that's got any white at all, that's a good thing. Anyway, the old book on the $1 red seal, the old book had $90 for a grade 8 and $200 for a grade 20. The new book, you're now looking at $125 on that grade 8 and $200 still on a grade 20. So the low side went from 90 all the way up to 125 for the grade 8, and the high side stayed at $200. Yeah, what does that mean? That means even the ones in rough shape are being scooped up by collectors. So if you don't have one, definitely got to get one. That one is number 6, the Red Seal $1 bill. Number 5. I was surprised to see this on the list, to be honest with you. Usually when you talk about the national banknotes or the Federal Reserve banks or even the FRBNs, you don't see a whole lot of movement in those prices just because there's so many of them. But that wasn't the case with this one. This is the 1918 FRBN, Federal Reserve banknote. This particular one happens to be from Chicago. It is the Flying Eagle, as you can see there on the back. And this one was a surprise to me. This one was number 5 on the list. The old book had this at $90 as a grade 8 and $175 in a grade 20. The new book jumped it to $125 for a grade 8 and $250 for a grade 20. So once again, on the low side, a grade 8 used to be $90, now it's $125. And on the high side, in a grade 20, it used to be $175, now it's $250. That jumped $75. $75 is a big jump for a note that inexpensive, that's for sure. That one is number 5 on the list. Number 4, I see a lot of these up for bid on eBay, but the prices keep going up. This is a 1922 $10 gold certificate. I always called this the Charlie Brown note. I know he doesn't look like Charlie Brown, but to me, I see the bulbous head and the black and gold. That's all I think about is Charlie Brown. Sorry. Michael Hilligus is who that is. Michael Hilligus, first treasurer of the United States. So, yeah, definitely not Charlie Brown. 1922 $10 gold certificate, number 4 on the list. In the old book, this one started out at $135 in a grade 8. And when you got up to a grade 20, this was where is it? Nope. Let me make sure I get it right. $135 in a grade 8 and $325 in a grade 20. Well, it is now jumped in the new book. Instead of $135, now it starts at $175. It's still holding tough to that $325 price in a grade 20, but the lower end is coming up. That means a lot of people want this note. They want it regardless of condition. That's why that price is moving up. So once again, the $10 gold certificate was $135. It's now $175 in a grade 8. And in a grade 20, we're still talking $325. That one is number 4. Number 3 from the exact same series. It's the $20 gold certificate. 1922 $20 gold certificate. The old book had this one in a grade 8 at $165. And it had it at $275 in a grade 20. So $165 and $275. That was the old book. The new book jumped those prices to $200 and $400. So yeah, grade 8 was $165, now it's $200, and a grade 20 was $275, now it's $400. Definitely going in the right direction. One of the cooler notes, one of my favorite notes that's out there. This particular one, this exact note is my first note that I ever got. So yeah, this note means a lot, and it's great to see other collectors are starting to appreciate it the way that I do, and we're watching that price go up. That is number 3. Number 2. Here's one I don't bring up too often. This is my $500 Confederate States of America note. The $500 CSA Number 2 on the list, in the old book, booked out in a grade 8 at $250. And in a grade 20, this was $375. New book came out, and those prices both went up. The grade 8 price on this note is now $275, and the grade 20 price is $450. So grade 8 was $250, now it's $275. And a grade 20 was $375, and now it's $450. So definitely going in the right direction with this one as well. That is number 2. And finally, number 1 on the affordable notes moving in the right direction. I threw in the $1 educational because this is the most affordable educational note. It's a note that if you want to get part of the educational series, this is where you start because it is most certainly the most affordable one. Just a stunning note when you see it compared to anything else out there. Such a cool note. The old book had an 8 graded at $200 and a 20 was $500. When the new book came out, that price jumped on both sides. It's now $225 for an 8 and it's $575 for a 20. So once again, the old book was the 8 went from $200 to $225 and the 20 went from $500 to $575. So definitely on its way up. Definitely another note that you should have before it gets priced out of range. All 20 of these notes are, for the most part, affordable. It doesn't matter how much money you have, even with the big note. If you put away $10, $15 a month even, you can end up with one of these by the end of the, well, maybe not by the end of the year, but maybe in 2 years. So simply by setting up your own savings plan for getting them, even the most expensive note on this list can be gotten. If you learned anything new this week, go ahead and hit that like button. If you like what you see and you want to see more, please subscribe. Love reading all your comments. Guys, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.